Hello my friends, welcome to my September TBR. After taking the month or the summer off of doing monthly TBRs, I'm back and it's huge. Part of me was like, should this be my autumn TBR? Because I'm just excited about fall reading. I love autumn. But no, I'm just keeping this as September. I probably won't read all the books, but this is what I would like to read if time would allow. It's excessive, but I'm just excited about books, okay? They're falling over. That's how many books there are. Thank you guys for your comments about the construction noise in the last video. I think there is going to be some coming through, but whatever, we're just gonna push on. It is what it is. I can't really do anything about that. So for my TBR, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the book because I usually don't know very much. And I'm gonna try my best to read the first sentence for you guys because I really like that. That makes me excited to pick up books, but I tend to forget as I go on. So we'll see if I can remember. So the first book that I have to read for September is the Indie Book Club book, and it's a really short one this month. It is A Suit and Slipper by Kate Stradling. I didn't realize when I picked this one of hers how short it was. It's, yeah, under 140 pages. This is a Cinderella story retelling. So, I mean, I won't say much about it then. Yeah, so Eugenie lives with her stepmother and stepsisters. Curious to see how she changes things, makes it unique. I really enjoy Kate Stradling's writing, so I definitely wanted her on this list of indie books for us to read. Okay, chapter 1 is called Only a Party. Eugenie only wanted to go to a party, is the first sentence. Not overly gripping, but short book. I trust her. I'm very excited about this one. So I will be sharing about it on Instagram in my stories the last Wednesday of the month. And I'll also share about it in my September wrap-up, which I also heard your guys's exclamations of wanting my monthly wrap-ups here. So I will be having a September wrap-up. I mean, not a September, a August. That's how the months work. An August wrap-up sometime next week. Starting next week, I think I'll be going back to 2 videos a week if it all works out. So that's one. That's like one that I have to read. The Read Your Bookshelf Challenge prompt is animal. So it could be like animal in the title, on the cover. I'm not gonna pick a specific book for that now. I'm gonna just kind of leave it open. A number of the books that I'm going to be sharing do have animals on the cover, so I have options. And then one of the things I am doing this month is trying to read more of the books that indie authors have sent to me, as well as like reading some books for our homeschool. And then there's also just a wide variety of things. I don't even know where to start. Like, I don't know if there's gonna be any rhyme or reason to the books I pick here. I'm gonna pick this one because it's got cool purple edges. This is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I started this book, when was it? A long time ago. I think I started it in October of last year. I was listening to the audiobook and then I was like, no, it sounded very poetic, like purple prose kind of idea. And I really loved it and I felt like I needed to read it physically. So I got myself a physical copy and then it has just felt like an autumnal, probably more of an October book, honestly, but I've waited so long to read it. I don't remember what it's about. Opal is a lot of things: orphan, high school dropout, full-time cynic, and part-time cashier. But above all, she's determined to find a better life for her younger brother, Jasper, to get them out of Eden, Kentucky. A town remarkable for only 2 things: bad luck and E. Starling, the reclusive 19th century author of The Underland, who disappeared more than 100 years ago. Opal has been obsessed with the Underland since she was a child. When she gets a chance to step inside Starling House and make some extra cash for her brother's escape fund, she can't resist. And then, I don't know, things happen. I love the cover. I really love purple, so that's nice. Let's see here. I really don't know anything about it. It could be terrible. Oh, this is the author that wrote 10,000 Doors of January. I've never read that, but that book's kind of always caught my eye. Starling House. Chapter 1. I dream sometimes about a house I've never seen. Okay. Chapter, is it the first page of every chapter? Yeah, they're very it's very narrow for the first page. But looking forward to giving this a try. I have like a middle grade book that feels very autumnal. Once again, probably October more, but I want to read it now. I got this from the thrift store a few months ago. It's called The Wizards of Once by Cressida Cowell. She's the person that wrote the Dragon, How to Train Your Dragon series. And what really caught my eye is just like all the illustrations throughout the book. Yeah, I don't know. It just looks so interesting. And so I want to give it a try. I'm not going to read the first sentence of the prologue because those are often like written differently. Let's find chapter 1. Part 1, I don't even know how to read this. Like there's something here and then it says part 1. So part 1 is called Disobedience. And then there's a picture. Let's see if we can find the first sentence here. Oh, okay. Chapter 1 is A Trap to Catch a Witch. It's got an illustration and a pronunciation guide. Apparently there is a character named XAR, pronounced Czar. It was a warm night for November, too warm a night for witches, or so the story said. That is such a great sentence. And okay, so maybe this book is more of a November book. I don't care, I want to read it now. If I don't get to it, then I'll get to it in the next couple months. But I don't know, I'm really intrigued by it. One that I found at the thrift store also a couple months ago is Red Queen. I have heard so many good things about this story. I don't know what it's about. Honestly, I just have heard good things. Mare's world is divided by blood, those with red and those with silver. Mare and her family are lowly reds, destined to serve the silver elite, whose supernatural abilities make them nearly gods. Okay, yeah, this is, I think there's 4 books in the series. Like I said, I've heard really good things. It's got some cool end papers. I like that. Chapter 1, I Hate First Friday. Okay, I don't know about that one. One of the ones I kind of want to like, I don't know about proof for homeschool, but I want to read a lot of the same books my kids are going to be reading this year. Not necessarily to proofread them, just so that we can talk about them though. And I've got Bomb by Steve Shinkin. So this is a true, like it's nonfiction about the race to build the atomic bomb. And it has a lot of, or at least some pictures and stuff throughout, which makes it more interesting. So there's a prologue on May 22nd, 1950. And then I think, is this chapter 1? It's called Skinny Superhero. Harry Gold was right. This is a big story. I think my 13-year-old will really enjoy this kind of book. He really likes nonfiction, so I think this will be right up his alley. Okay, I want to read a classic this month, and one of the ones that I put on my 15-year-old's list as an option that she went through and picked as one of her first picks is O Pioneers by Willa Cather. I've never read anything by her. I think this is on my list of 50 books I want to read before 50. It might be. I can't remember now. This is her first novel about life on the Nebraska prairies. Story of Alexandra Bergson, the daughter of Swedish immigrants whose devotion to the harsh, forbidding prairie transforms her land and her life. A spirited, independent woman, Cather's Alexandra became a model for pioneer heroines of later literature. So, yeah, I don't know. Oh, right. Okay, what is with this book? So, like, a bunch of the font is just massive, except the beginning. Oh, the introduction isn't. But the actual text of the book is huge. Like, my copy is like kind of mass market sized, and it's 300 pages, but I don't think it'll take that long to read. Nice, I love it when books are surprising like that. Okay, what is chapter 1? There's a little poem called Prairie Spring. Oh, Pioneers. Part 1 is The Wild Land. Chapter 1. One January day, 30 years ago, the little town of Hanover, anchored on a windy Nebraska tableland, was trying not to be blown away. This is good. I don't want to read this in January because that sounds way too relatable for January, but I can read this in September. Yeah, so I think this is the only classic I picked out for this month. Who knows if I'll pick up other ones or not, but definitely want to prioritize that one. I keep putting this book off, but I need to read it. The Hunt of Calypso by Aaron Phillips. This is book 2 in the Grimoire and Key series. So we read book 1 for the Indie Book Club back in April. Loved it. Bought book 2. Still haven't read it. I'm participating in a couple different reading challenges in September, and one of them is Talk Like a Pirate. It's kind of like for that day. Hot Cocoa and Books, Victoria from there, is putting it on, and you're just supposed to read a book that has like some kind of pirate theme to it, and I think this one does. Aaron Phillips said that first book is Prison, this one's Pirates, and I can't remember book 3, like Poison maybe? But I'm not really sure. So it's book 2. Can I say anything? I don't think so. But apparently, I don't know if it's the series or if it was just for, I think it's the series, has like Monte Cristo inspiration. Let's see if I can read the first sentence here. I don't know if it'll be spoilery. At night is when I plan my escape. Yeah, I can say that. That's fair. Yeah. Looking forward to this one. I'll throw out my Christian nonfiction I would love to read this month. The first one is for an in-person book club, so I will read it. It's short. I don't know if I will. I can't remember when our book club is. I should probably read it soon. It's The Blessed and Boundless God by George Swinnock. This is part of the Puritan Treasures for Today series, and I don't know anything about it. From the psalmist's assertion that no one in heaven or earth is like God, George Swinnock derives his principal doctrine, namely God is incomparable. Throughout The Blessed and Boundless God, he proves his doctrine by demonstrating God's incomparableness in his being, attributes, works, and words. So, yeah, it's Puritan writing. First sentences are very different for nonfiction books, but we're going to give it a try. Wait, that's introduction. Part 1, God's Incomparable Being. Chapter 1, The Excellence of God's Being. To begin with, God is incomparable in his being. I thought it was going to be like a really long sentence because like the Puritans, I don't know about then, but I know there was like a stage where they loved like really long titles, and then I was assuming they would also really like long sentences, but that one's actually pretty short. And then I also have 2 other ones. I don't know if I'll get to all 3 of these, but I thrifted Anne Ortland's Disciplines of the Beautiful Woman a few months ago. I found this for 50 cents, or possibly it was 50 cents, and then it was 50% off of that yet. So Anne Ortland was the wife of Ray Ortland, but not the current Ray Ortland, the current Ray Ortland's mother. Yeah, this book was originally published when? 1977. So it's a book for women that is personal, convincing, practical, a guidebook without tricks or gimmicks for women who want to live their lives more efficiently and more fully. With charm and humor, Anne Ortland helps women see how they can eliminate the unessential from their everyday lives and have more time and energy for what's really important. And I'm so curious about how a book that was published in the 70s, how applicable it will be today, because I think it will be very applicable still. Is that chapter 1? There's no numbers, there's letters. Wait, there is numbers. Let's see if I can find chapter 1. Okay, chapter 1 is your first decision and what follows. The great majority of women in this world, not understanding that God has specific plans for their lives, would tell you that they just take life as it comes. Okay. Yeah, I'm so curious about this one. And then apparently I'm going for the classic nonfiction. I also want to read A.W. Tozer's The Fire of God's Presence, Drawing Near to a Holy God. I could use this one for my autumn bingo because it's got fire. So that's an option. I could also double up and use it for the nonfiction prompt if I want. This says, have you ever truly experienced God's presence? If not, what do you think is getting in the way? And I really like A.W. Tozer's writing. Chapter 1 starts with Moses at the burning bush. A Sunday school teacher was teaching a lesson on Moses at the burning bush, is the first sentence. Okay, next, I want to share a bunch of arcs that I have. Some of them I've had for a long time. These all feel very autumnal to me. I want to read them right now or in September if I can prioritize them all. The first one is called And Then It Was September. So yeah, it seems like one I should read in September. This one is already out. I should have read it last year. Oh yeah, and like this has like a cool mystery thing. This is one of the first books I moved onto my Kobo when I didn't know how to format the font properly. So I don't know if you can see, but like my description is minuscule. So I'm not gonna read very much of it. But it says, Savannah native Jasmine sets out to solve a 30-year-old mystery after spotting a photo of a girl named Audrey wearing her family's long-lost heirloom necklace. I will have to take this off my Kobo and put it back on, reformatted. I'll see if the actual text I can read or not. And then, yeah, this text is massive. Okay, that's my bad. I didn't know what I was doing at the beginning. Okay, chapter 1, Jasmine, Love You Down. Wednesday, June 14th, 2017. You can buy a baby on the internet. And then it continues, I know, I checked. Okay, well, that is gripping. It's probably not gonna turn out to be as weird as it sounds, but like, it sounds weird. So yeah, that one. And then I've got Autumn at the Cat Cafe. I mean, it had autumn in it. It had a cat cafe. I have no idea if it's any good. Via Dalton has sworn off men to focus on the two things she loves most, her quirky cat cafe, positive vibes, and the charming town of Pecan Corner, Ohio. But her peaceful world is shaken when Earl Brewster, the owner of the beloved Second Chapter Books next door, oh, there's a bookstore yet, passes away. Via is determined to buy the shop and preserve Earl's legacy, but her plans hit a snag in the form of a tall, handsome, and completely unexpected heir. Okay, yeah. I mean, we've got a bookstore, we've got a cat cafe. I have no idea. This author it's Kathleen Fuller. Oh, it does say a cozy kisses only fall romance. Okay, so I was worried that it was going to possibly have content in it that I didn't want. Oh, and it's blurbed by Becca Kinzer. Okay, Denise Hunter. Okay, so is this a Christian one? I don't remember. There's a lot of people that blurbed it that are Christian authors. So that's encouraging. Chapter 1, Pecan Corner, Ohio. There's nothing better than an autumn day. Bam. Mic drop. That's all I need. Yep. Okay, that's a good sentence. Okay, this next one, honestly, I'm going to put it on this list, but I might read it before September because I've already struggled to wait this long. It's Orange is the Color of Goodbye by Christina Suzanne Nelson. This one I think is coming out this week right now. It's coming out right away anyway, and I want to read it. I got a copy sent to me, and I don't remember anything. I was just like, Christina Suzanne Nelson, love the title. I don't need to know more. Eden Brecklin should be celebrating. After 16 terrifying months of cancer treatments, her young son's scans are finally clear. Okay, well that's terrifying as a mother. Then her estranged mother calls. Carrie Buchanan is dying, and the Oregon house Eden escaped years ago has been condemned. With her name still attached to the property, Eden has no choice but to leave her husband and children in California and return to the home and memories she worked so hard to leave behind. Oh, yeah. She just writes such good books. Let's find this for a sentence. I am pleased to say Wyatt's latest tests show no signs of leukemia. A very positive start there. Yeah. Definitely going to read that one really soon. I also got an e-arc for Riley Sager's new book, which I think is already out. It's called The Unknown. I think, have I only read one of his books or have I read two? I don't remember. I'm not like fully convinced he's an author for me, but this one has to do with a remote island. So in 1926, 5 women disappeared from a remote island in Vermont. Now 100 years later, it's happening again. Yeah, honestly, do I need to know more than that? I don't think so. Let's just go to the first sentence. Chapter 1. The island sits in the middle of the lake, a black smudge on the horizon. Okay, that's quite the setup there. And then I've got Don't Look Close by, I actually have no idea how to pronounce her name, Jama Fixon. She is half of the Audrey Blake duo. So this author is from Alberta, and then she works with an author in Texas, and they write the Audrey, under the name Audrey Blake, The Girl in His Shadow, and that series, which is like a historical, where we follow a woman that becomes a doctor. And then I think they both write on their own, at least this lady does. And this is also a thriller maybe, and it just came out August 18th. When Peter Simmons calls his sister from the polio rehabilitation ward, he expects to hear that she's on her way to get him. Instead, he learns her ex-husband has been murdered, and whispers around town have turned her into a prime suspect. Yeah, let's start with that. I've never read anything that she wrote on her own. I've enjoyed, I think I read 2 of the Audrey Blake books. So we're Saturday, January 22nd, 1955. Edie turned up the radio, humming along, urging the day's accumulated tension to slide off her shoulders. Okay, that's like mediocre. It doesn't super grip me, but it could yet. And then I have Every Flower of the Field by Sarah Davidson. This is the second book in her 2 Sparrows for a Penny series. So hopefully I don't have to have read book 1, because I haven't. Safe is the most dangerous feeling of all. For as long as she can remember, Rose Galloway has been a captive, controlled by one man or another. To her, though, God is the one holding the keys, refusing to set her free despite the desperate pleas she has sent heavenward. Okay, I just wonder if I need to read book 1. I didn't realize this was a book 2. I'll have to look into that yet, but let's see if I can find sentence 1. Darkness had fallen over the house like the 9th plague on Egypt. Ooh, that's a good sentence. I like that. So those are the ones that I have on my Kobo, which is 6 books alone. And then I have a stack of books that authors have sent to me that I also want to read. This one is a wintry themed one, Whiteout by Lynette Eason and Danny Petrie. This one was sent to me by Bethany House. I think I want to read this now when it's not winter. Same as that other book that started with like a January cold first sentence. I don't want to be cold in January. So maybe I'll be cold now. These are 2 romantic suspense novellas. So Buried Shadows is by Danny Petrie. We've got Cassandra Parker arrives at her best friend's destination wedding, praying her stalker hasn't tracked her to Colorado. In Snowbound Secrets, Dr. Maya Sullivan fully intends to escape her past and finish planning a retreat for military veterans at the ranch she's inherited. Unfortunately, her plans go sideways when an avalanche traps her in a Colorado ski resort. So let's do the first sentence of each. So the wedding one, got a prologue. Chapter 1. Casey approached the stunning Silver Pines ski village the following day, her insides still tingling from the letter's reminder to stay away from Joel. Okay. And then Snowbound Secrets, Chapter 1. Despite the darkness that had fallen, the sky was on fire. Oh, okay. That one's interesting. So the cool thing about this book, and I don't think you can really see it on camera, but the cover has like a pearl finish. It's not just like a glossy color. There's like a pearl finish to it. I really love that. It's really pretty. Okay, then I've had this book for an embarrassing amount of time. Kingdom of the Infinity Realm by Mark and Sarah Kadoshnikov. I don't know how to pronounce that. This is a fantasy of some sort. Follow Preston as he falls through a dimensional rift into the medieval-like world of Oswella. Okay, and then chapter 1, sentence 1. Inhaling the rich, nutty aroma of freshly brewed coffee, Preston settles into the worn yellow suede armchair and stretches his lanky arms. I really need to prioritize this one. I've had it for way too long. One that I just recently got that sounded perfect for this time of year is A Bridge to Die On. 2 timelines, 1 haunting bridge, and a chilling reminder that some evils refuse to stay buried. So Reese hopes for a fresh start when she inherits her late uncle's home on the banks of the Chunky River, but the eerie rope dangling from Stuckey's Bridge and a shadowy figure haunting its banks suggests that some histories refuse to stay hidden. Yes, and then in 1858, we go back to some kind of disappearance during that time as well. It sounds really good. Let's see, chapter 1, prologue. We skip. For the record, I don't skip reading prologues, like when I'm actually reading, just for the first sentence thing, because the prologues are often written very differently than the rest of the book. So I don't want to judge the book off of the first sentence of the prologue. I'm not actually, I'll come back and read it yet. I'm assuming this is chapter 1, A Welcomed Stranger, Stuckey, early autumn 1878. He just might like this new town. Okay, this one has like really gothic-y vibes to it, which I just feel like is perfect for autumn. This one, I got the whole trilogy sent to me. It's the Forsaken trilogy by Elizabeth Rogers. The first book is Out of the Darkness. This would count as an animal on the cover. There's some kind of animal. I'm assuming a dragon or whatever that thing is on the back. Some kind of double-headed eel. I don't know. Marcus, son of Barsadius of the 598th Legion of our King Zoran, will very soon be dead. As a blind man, his only use is to perish in the Elven lands and advance the armies of Ramesia. Okay, let's see. Prologue, once again. Chapter 1, The Meadow. General Leganius glared up at the endless sea of trees. I'm not very good at fantasy names. So I'd like to read this book because I've got 2 others to read in this series. Would also work for Krista's series September she's got going on. Another one that would work for an animal on the cover is Dragon Forged. This is the Banished Saga novella by Justin C. Orr. His first book in the series. I don't know if this is a prequel or if you don't need to read it to read the series. I think the first book is coming out right away. 3 sibling dragons banished from their home are forced to fly over an endless sea. They forge their own land, sowing life in all its forms across it. But not all 3 are willing to live the rest of their lives in peace. The one who caused their banishment dreams of returning in vengeance and fury, and will stop at nothing to make this dream come true. Part 1 is Hailbringer. Hailbringer flew close to the surface of the grand ocean, his cerulean claws cutting through the water as his stark white wings kept him aloft. Okay, interesting. It's super short. This one is under 75 pages, so that'll be a quick one, which is good because this is an extremely long TBR. 2 books left. I've got Illuminate by Samantha Jockish. This one is, there are those who are shadows and those who illuminate them. In the kingdom of Sol Olin, those who choose to become servants of light are given one of 3 gifts to become either a shield, a spark, or a seeker. Shields protect, sparks heal, and seekers gain knowledge. Callista serves as a shield and yearns to protect the goodness and light of her kingdom more than anything. When mysterious strangers, a pirate with a dark past. Oh, another one that would work for the pirate readathon, read-along challenge thing. And monsters beyond her imagination begin to lurk in the shadows. She fears she may not have enough strength to defeat the darkness brewing. Let's find the first sentence. Chapter 1 is Callista, a shield maiden. Okay, we'll see where that one goes. And then the last one I have is Forged in Fira by C.B. Sharp. This is the first book in a series as well. I've got the dust jacket, which has printed on hardcover as well. 3 will be born of pure intent, 1 of bravery, 1 of compassion, 1 of faith. Wield the sword to slay the kings and destroy the bloodless wraith. The immortal ancients have positioned themselves as creators, worthy of worship and rule. As a result, they have morphed into beasts, keeping clay-borns divided and dependent upon them. After their parents are captured and they are left for dead, the Oriole siblings learn of their fate, free Terra Nova from the ancients' oppressive regime, and restore divine order to their world. That was a prologue. It's got a map in it. Chapter 1. Brian scanned the moss with every step, his eyes searching for a pale yellow glimmer. There we go. An excessive amount of books. Like I said, probably won't read all of them. I will probably add books in. I probably forgot to add books to this list. It happens, but in an ideal world, this is what I would read in the month of September. So let me know what you guys are planning on reading. Do you have any books picked out for the autumn bingo? I do plan on doing a recommendations video with a bunch of books to recommend for the prompts coming next week if all goes well. So if you need some ideas for that, stay tuned. And I would just love to hear if you want me to read any of these first, anything great that I should prioritize. I always love chatting with you guys. Thanks so much for sticking around.